Hi and welcome to the Martin Bell Show. Hopefully you've been keeping well, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a generation sleepwalking into retirement poverty. Bombshell survey reveals hundreds of thousands expect to see their pensions run out or run dry because so few are planning for their older age. So basically what they're doing is they're putting their head in the sand and they're not actually figuring out and making an actual plan of what they need, or not putting enough aside, or they're living beyond their means and not putting enough away for in the future, as well as some other aspects as well. So it says here, workplace savings firm The People's Pension reveals its report in the Money Mail. The research involved in-depth interviews with groups of savers since 2015. It just found savers are put off planning for the future as they fear the truth. So that makes them realise I'm not as far ahead as I need to be, so they just ignore it, and then that makes the problem even worse for later on, the longer that you leave it, as well as they lose the opportunity for compound growth, dividend investing or compound growth, because they haven't left it in there for longer periods of time. So it says here, it just found that just 1 in 20 consider how inflation will eat away at their savings. I think personally the number's higher than that, but that is one thing I always did think about when I was younger, before I was even into investing and other things. It was about inflation and interest rates. So that is something I am thinking about and to be aware of. It says here, older savers are clueless about their pensions and most will run out of money in retirement, damning research today reveals. An exhaustive study from the pension industry food savers were too scared to check their pots and underestimate how long they will live. Well, no one has a crystal ball and knowing how long they will live, but it's best to plan for the future so that you will have a good retirement, and that you can go, hopefully, if you plan it well and you can put enough aside, that you can go into a good care home where they have nice fresh food every day. If you go into care, you'll have some good care. Not that they're saying anything wrong with national care, they're very good overall, but sometimes it's nicer to delay the gratification and have something better in the future. Or if you don't go into care, you have all your bills covered, you can have the heating on as high as you want and not be cold in the winter. So it's very important to plan for the future, and you can go away on holidays, you can do this, you can do that. I've seen quite a lot of comments in the comment section box below, not just on this topic, about other topics as well. It's about, oh, you're going to go into care, you're going to waste, if you don't live for now, you wasted your opportunity to spend the money in the future. But I think that's a bad mindset to have. Yes, it's important to enjoy the present moment, but it's also very important to plan for the future. Having that type of mindset can be very, very dangerous, because then you will set nothing aside when you're just living in the moment. And let's say a lot of people are going to live longer overall because of improved improved health knowledge and nutritional knowledge. So people are going to live longer, so you're going to need more money, and you're less likely unable to earn more money as you get older because you're physically less able. It's best to just sacrifice now, and yes, you may not make it to that age, but hopefully you do, or something may happen. We never know what's around the future. It's best to just plan, because in all likelihood you may, and more likely, to make it to that age. There's no guarantee, so that these people need to realise that, yes, I want to live in the moment and enjoy nice things, but not completely overdo it. Like, I know people who treat themselves to the takeaway very regularly. If we do it in our house, it's like a treat every now and then. Or if we go to like a well, not now, before the virus was even known about, We used to go for like a nice meal at a garden centre and then walk around at the garden centre, and we'll do that like once every couple of months or maybe, and that's how you should do it. If you do it too often, it doesn't become a treat anymore, and it doesn't become interesting, and you don't look forward to it. If you do it too much, it loses its sparkle, so to speak. And I gain great satisfaction knowing that I'm having a secure future as well as it's given it more time to compound growth and generate more income. So anyway, let's continue. Workplace savings firm The People's Pension warns that the National is now sleepwalking into retirement nearly 6 years after the pension freedoms were introduced. I don't know what they are, but I have a SIP and I have a state and a workplace pension. So I got 3 pensions. Hopefully I'll make it to retirement age. Its reports, unrevealed for the first time in the Money Mail today, lays bare the binary choice that pensioners currently have between costly financial advice or going it alone. The research, which has involved in in-depth reviews with the sample groups of savers since 2015, says that those nearing retirement need more help to get it right, it found. Which is understandable because you've built up a larger nest egg and you're going to be more dependent on that money. So it's a bit more different to say if you had lots of money not near retirement age because you still had lots of earning years potential and you're not dependent on the money. So that is understandable. 3 in 4 savers are on track to run their pensions dry in retirement, and currently I would probably be one of them people at this moment in time, but I do want to change it so I'm that 4th person out of 4, so I won't be one of them people, and hopefully you won't be either, and many other people won't be either. So savers are putting off planning for the future as they fear the truth, with just 1 in 10 making detailed money plans. Just 1 in 20 consider how inflation will eat away their savings. No savers, though, they live to 100 and beyond, despite statistics suggesting 1 in 10 65-year-olds today will do so. The pension freedoms of 2015 gave savers the choice to do what they wanted with their pots from the age of 55. Previously, they would always have had to use their pots to buy annuity, providing them with a guaranteed income for the rest of their lives. But that annuity is not going to be a very good deal. Yes, it flattens it out and you've got a guaranteed income, but the peaks, there may be some dips, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to take an annuity or not. Hopefully I want to get a large enough pension pot size. I actually do really want to fill it to the lifetime allowance, which is currently £1 million. I know that's a crazy amount of money. And I also do want to completely fill every year up my ISA as well. And if I could, I know that's even on long strips, I would then want to start filling up like a general account. Like that is, I'm not sheltered from tax. But that would be the last one I'd put into each time, after I've completely filled the ISA and the pension pot. Now, most retirees choose to keep their pension money invested and draw down an income, perhaps after taking a 25% cut, sent tax-free lump sum. Since the freedoms were introduced in April 2015, nearly 1 million pensioners have entered drawdown. It allows savers to keep their pensions invested and take an income from it. Experts remove no more than 4%. So, okay, let's say if I wanted to have a income of 30,000, and they said 4%, but we're going to go for 4% first. So it means I need a quarter of, not more than a quarter, for £750,000 invested to do that. And that will give me just below a middle class, or round about, it would be a very comfortable retirement, because most house should be paid off by then, and shouldn't be any large bills, so that would allow me to not have to worry about many things, and I could treat myself to things every now and then, set some money aside, build it up, and pay it off for in cash. I could go on holidays, I could do this, I could do that. So this is why it's so important to delay gratification and invest, and not just be enjoying in the moment. But that is also very important too, but to keep it in perspective. Perspective is very important. So it says here, however, if you're not invested efficiently or to take too much out, the saver could quickly deplete their pot. Yet, the People's Pension says that most are likely to make ill-informed investment choices and take money out too quickly, meaning most will solely reliant on the state pension by their mid-80s. So they should see it's coming down, so they should actually cut back on the withdrawal. The firm also warns that not nearly enough savers were clued up about how they should best invest and access their retirement money. The behavioral research done in conjunction with the asset manager State Street Global Advisors says savers can only choose between making decisions themselves or paying for ongoing financial advice. The author said that they were going it alone and doing the best they can, given the impossible task. It is a very daunting task because it's a lot of information to learn, and there's also like the emotional side, and then you've also got the amount of time that you've invested earning that money, and then invested it as well. So that is that part to it as well. Yet the report found that their choices often appeared illogical and irrational. Added members going it alone are riddled with behavioural biases that prevent them from thinking about their later years. They struggle with numbers, they have no knowledge of investments, and constantly misunderstand or ignore of the risks that they face. The situation is far from ideal. The People's Pension says that advice on drawdown pension plan will on average be charged at 2.4% on the amount invested, and then 0.8% per year and then on. Okay, so the People's Pension says financial advice on drawdown. Oh, okay, so it's like a fee, understandable. Savers will also have to pay management fees if means savers with a £100,000 pot will lose thousands to fees in retirement. I know £100,000 would get you a year. I think it'll get you a decent amount. That is my starting foundation block. It would be £4,000 a year, or roughly about £340 a month, which would be massively help towards bills. So Phil Brown from non-profit group BACE, which runs the People's Pension, says the report files a big gap in our understanding how pension freedoms are working in practice. He adds a significant number of people are sleepwalking into retirement and will have a worse quality of life in later years than could have been the case if they had just been guided. People who would be dismayed to arrive at a car dealer's forecourt to buy a car, be present with a selection of parts and told to pick a selection and build their own vehicle. So why do we expect pension customers to do this exactly this? Alistair Brin of Street Global Advisors says the research shows clearly the many challenges older savers face when making a decision about their pensions. People struggle to see beyond their near-term future, and that is very true, and cannot always access the advice support they would like. The research also revealed that those facing retirement want their pension providers to direct them down the best path. It comes as regulator. The Financial Conduct Authority has warned that too many pensioners savers are keeping their money in cash rather than invested in the stock market, losing retirement income as a result, and inflation as well. And as well as once that money's spent, it ain't coming back. But at least if it's from income, from dividend income, you're going to get another payment in the next quarter or month or biannually or yearly even. From the next month, in a bid to fix this, those putting pension money into a drawdown without financial advice will be offered an investment option to suit. How that's really cool actually. That could be really helping me in the future as well. I don't know how I'll be when I'm older, because currently I'm thinking I will do okay, but things could change. Things aren't always set in stone. From the next month, in a bid to fix this, those putting pension money into drawdown without financial advice will be offered an investment option to best suit their circumstances by their provider. Cool. That's going to help a lot of people. Former Pensioners Minister Baroness Rose Altman says that the industry needs to promote pensions better and make its services and products more user-friendly. For customers, she says pensions are the last money people should spend. And that is absolutely true. You should spend tax-sheltered money last, and I would say pension money even last third. And before I go any further, I'd like to announce that I am not a licensed professional. This is me just documenting my journey. This is not financial advice, it's just me sharing my thoughts and my thinking. Hopefully you find it useful. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions. Capital is always at risk from gains and losses. So there are the most precious of all investments. Spend your ISA, draw down, downsize your house, use your other investments before you draw your own pension fund. Good advice. These are simple messages that have simply not been passed on to the public. It is quite astonishing, really. It is, really. It should be like some kind of booklet that people get. Loads of tips and advice. Do this, do this, do that as an advice. That would be very, very useful, but I don't see that. But then again, I think not many people actually have a stocks and shares ISA in the UK. I think it's only like 3% of the population. So not many people. 3%, let's just call it 60 million people in the UK. Let's call it 60 million. I know it's more than that. That's only 1.8 million people. That is not many people at all. I know that is a lot, man. I know 1.8 million is a lot of people, but in the grand scheme of things, in the general population of the United Kingdom, it's not really that many people. However, after having a look at Jerry, 57 realised he could actually retire early from his job as a sales manager. I would personally like to work for a bit longer, or maybe do reduced hours and then still invest heavily, or set aside money for cash. But then again, that is his decision. I don't know his financial numbers, so it may work out well for him, and he may just want to retire and enjoy retirement. But I do find it's very important to have something to get out of bed for and some work. A lot of people in the FIRE community don't really want the retire early part. There are some, but I think most people want the financial independence where they have security and they're not dependent on a paycheck from a company. Or if they want to do some of their own thing, they can for a while and not have to worry about money, and it gives them great freedom. And freedom is very important to me. For taking a lump sum, and now he intends to draw down the rest. He says, I know the basics about pensions, but it was only when I looked at the finer details I thought I could do this. And good on you, mate. Good on you. So let's pick this is like a prime example of what I meant by people who do not delay the gratification, or their mind thinking may not be completely 100% right. But don't contact this person. It's Oscar the Great. Very ironic. So you can get to 85 and you run out of money, big deal. You only have to use it for the nursing home costs anyway. So this is what he means, is like, if I'm going to go into care, I might as well squander, that's probably too strong a word. Spend the money now, because the government are going to take it anyway later on if I may go into a care home, which you may not, but you may. But apparently only 4, and this person here says only, I haven't checked the facts, but it may be true. It's saying here only 4% of the population go into nursing homes, or as known these days, into care homes. Very good, and I'm going to downvote you. So yes, so that's like an example of quite a lot I've noticed a lot of people have. They don't delay their gratifications. Yes, it's very nice to treat yourself every now and then to a meal, but it actually has a name. I can't remember its name. If you do something too often, it loses its sparkle and it becomes kind of less meaningful. So it's best to cherish it and not do it too often, or treat yourself too often to one thing, as it loses its speciality, and it feels like it's cherished more if you don't do it as often, like going for a meal every day, or not every day, but several times a week, instead of like once every month or 2 months, and things like that. And then it does add up. If you start doing that, and if you didn't get the takeaway instead and did more your own cooking, you'd have more money to set aside and invest into your pension pots. And also, it's very important to give up very bad habits such as smoking, drinking, and gambling, as they can really affect your physical, mental health, and psychological, and your wallet. So if you enjoyed this video, as I said, I'm not a licensed professional. Please do your own due diligence before making any financial decisions. Capital is always at risk. If you've enjoyed this content, then please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Clicking the bell notification button will notify you when I next release a video. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all soon.